ARGs, or alternate reality games, are a form of online storytelling that uses the real world as a platform to interact and communicate with its viewers. While ARGs aren't always horror, creepy and scary content is very common in that world because of how much creative freedom it gives the writers, directors, and actors. They can leave clues, take breaks, and pretty much allow their audience to dictate the direction of the series if they wish, which makes it very appealing to horror creators. So that's what we're going to be having a look at today. But before we get into that, I want to say a big thank you to Amino for sponsoring today's video. Now, most of you watch my channel for the horror-related content that I post, and that is easily my favorite type of videos to make, but sometimes I can be very inconsistent with uploads because the process of making longer form videos can take a while. So recently I found out about Amino's new story feature, and I've been watching similar creators make horror content over there for a while, and it looks exactly like the type of thing I've been looking for. So now I have actually partnered with Amino, and I'm going to be making some stories over there. So you can click the link in the description or in my pinned YouTube comment to download the app. I posted my first story, which you can find by searching Deburke321. If you want some extra content or you just want to support the channel, this is the best way to do that. I'll be responding to comments and talking to anybody who stops by, so I hope to see you over there. But without further ado, here are the 5 most disturbing ARGs on the internet. Number 1. Jack Torrance. Jack Torrance is a YouTube channel that was created in December of 2011 that started sharing found footage videos on their channel. The description of the channel and the videos state that these clips were purchased at a yard sale for $5 a box. They apparently have 10 of these boxes and they intend to repair and share these lost movies. Some of the clips are pretty mundane, but others, like this one, raise some interesting questions about where they come from. It might not seem like there's much of a story here, but that's far from the case. YouTuber Nightmind made a 1-hour deep dive into this ARG and even got involved with the story. He analyzed the videos, spoke with the creators, and even visited the locations of several of the buildings featured on the channel. It turned out to be a fascinating and immersive ARG that did a great job of involving its viewers. I highly recommend checking out the Jack Torrance YouTube channel and then the Nightmind deep dive, as they are both fascinating. Number 2. Ash Vlogs. On the 17th of April 2018, a YouTube channel called Ash Vlogs uploaded a video where she stated that she was beginning a vlog series on YouTube. There was nothing strange or bizarre about this video, but in the description box there was a link that led to a different, slightly darker video that showed somebody in an abandoned building. This began a strange trend on the Ash Vlogs YouTube channel, where Ash would upload fun, lighthearted vlogs, but the link in the description would lead viewers to something slightly darker. Ash also shared some concerning information about her life. In one video, she shows viewers a car that had been parked outside her apartment for hours, and in another video, she tells us that she received a strange package in the mail from an unknown source. All the while, the linked videos get more and more concerning. In some of these videos, it's apparent that there is someone else in her house, and it begins to feel like this channel has 2 different owners and styles of content. From the lighthearted content that Ash produces to the darker, grittier videos that this person is making. Well, this part of the story comes to a terrifying conclusion when Ash and her friend decide to check out a DVD that was sent to her, and in it they find a file that shows them a number of disturbing images and leaves messages on their screen. These messages say things like 2,500 buyers and counting, Ash, much more than all the rest, and finally a message that reads, "I'm outside, I'll be meeting you soon." The video then ends with Ash and her friend going to the window to see a masked man approaching the door. The video then cuts out. After this, several videos, live streams, and more were posted onto the channel by an anonymous source, and the name was changed from Ash Vlogs to I Know Where She Is. The ARG was really well made, and I've barely covered the surface of what it has to offer, so I highly recommend checking out the full thing over on the Ash Vlogs YouTube channel. It is now over and the story has been told, so you can go enjoy it in full over there. Number 3. Year Zero. 42 Entertainment are a production company in Southern California that actually specialize in creating ARGs for other companies as a way to promote their projects. These projects include huge releases such as The Dark Knight and Halo 2. One of their most interesting projects, however, wasn't for a game or a movie, it was for an album. specifically the 9 Inch Nails Year Zero album. The ARG began with the tour t-shirt that led to a website called IamTryingToBelieve.com. On this website they talked about a drug that was able to control the world, giving us the first hint of a narrative. The game got a lot stranger when a fan in Portugal found a USB flash drive in a bathroom that contained an actual unreleased song from the album. From here they found another website, and when the song was put through a spectrogram, they found an image of a large hand that was known as the Presence. Through this, the story was finally coming together, and players found out that this game told the story of a dystopian future where citizens were drugged and their rights were stripped. The game continued and more info was released until eventually a group of players were given prepaid cell phones that later revealed the location of a secret concert performed by 9 Inch Nails. The entire game was convoluted and at times confusing, but the narrative was interesting and it tied in well with the album. The ARG is considered to be one of the most ambitious forms of marketing done by a popular musical act, and the album peaked at number 2 on the US charts. Number 4. Gregory 88. In 2014, a Twitter account called Gregory88 was created, and at first, the account seemed perfectly normal and featured some pretty standard tweets that wouldn't catch anyone's attention. However, that changed in August of 2018 when Greg posted a tweet explaining that his grandfather had passed away. 2 months later in October, Greg revealed that he had inherited the house, and while he was staying there, some strange things started occurring. These events weren't that creepy at first, and included things like finding some strange designs outside his house and finding an old campsite in the woods. However, soon after this, when he was coming home with some shopping, Greg saw a hooded man standing outside of his home. That same night, he saw a woman with no eyes standing in the driveway and even took a video of the event. From here, Greg shares an interesting story, and through his tweets, we learn about the history of his grandfather's house, the people who have been outside his home, and more. It's a very well put together piece of fiction that also includes the audience, as Greg directly responds to them and lets them put together the pieces of this puzzle as well. I highly recommend viewing the entire page over on Twitter, as it appears that it is an ongoing story that's going to be continuing soon. Number 5. Junko Junsu. On the 17th of June 2009, a woman named Junko Junsu created a number of social media accounts and began mass messaging people with vague paragraphs about herself. At first, people could not figure out what this woman was trying to say, but people started to discuss these messages on forums like 4chan and Reddit, and through this discussion, they found a website that led them to a live stream that featured 20 hours of a woman lying on the floor of a white room. It was around this time that the story started to reveal itself. Junko Junsu was playing the role of an artificially made superior being who was looking for her sister who had been captured. Players of the game were tasked with solving clues and putting together several pieces of evidence that were found through websites, articles, and more. After a brief silence from the creators of the game, they created an app that allowed players to feel like they were hacking into websites and finding answers about these artificially made beings and the people who created them. However, the app and the game in general seemed quite realistic at times, and the lines of reality and fiction were blurred. Players were paranoid about being hacked, and certain people who got involved were being doxxed, and their personal info was being released to the public by other players. It was a messy but interesting story that's definitely worth checking out. And that is it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, don't forget to hit that like button. I try to make similar videos like this every week, so if you want to subscribe for that, you can. Again, thank you to Amino for sponsoring this video. Like I said in the beginning, I posted a story over there, so if you want to go and check that out, get some extra content, you can. But like I said, that's all for now. As always, until next time.